Testing 1 2. Testing. Okay. This is Mike Piotrowski, and this is my wildcard project, which I chose to revamp a piece of software or just give ideas. Until I'm definitely not going to revamp, but I wanted to give suggestions for something that we use in class, and I chose WIMBA. I can definitely say that I did not like WIMBA when I first walked into class, and I still have a couple beefs with the software. Uh, I do, though, however, think that it's going to be an integral part of my program here at Stockton. I'm sure I'll be using it in a few more classes, and I definitely know that there are going to be other programs out like this that educators and students will use that will be very similar to WIMBA. So I thought I'd just give a couple suggestions. I did ask the water cooler gang, and I got a couple, one or two suggestions, but through notes and someone actually come up there and saying something to me. But as you can tell by the screen, I might have to add this to my list here. I'm having trouble loading the program. So I've been staring at the screen now, and I've tried to reload a few times, and it's not working. So I'm kind of a little upset there, but I will try one more time and see if it loads. And if anybody knows what I'm doing wrong, please, I'd love to know. But this would be obviously a huge problem if I were trying to get on logged on and try and get into a session for class. Let me quickly just kind of go down the list of what I would suggest, and you're just gonna have to work with me here since I don't have a screen. I did try this yesterday as well, and I got the one moment please loading. So please bear with me. Um, the first thing I would do is the video chat is not perfect. It's something that we actually discovered in class, that there is a video chat and you can actually see someone who's speaking to you if they're at a remote location, as long as they have a video camera. But the problem is that you actually had to hold down the control key, or you had to speak for longer than a few seconds in order for the system to actually catch up. So it was kind of lagging. So I would definitely try and look into trying to fix that video chat. It doesn't always work consistently, and I would like to see obviously who I'm talking to. I don't always need to see them in their PJs, but if they're willing to show themselves at their location, that'd be kind of cool. The breakout rooms, the audio wasn't perfect. It was still a little lagging. It wasn't actually. It was kind of choppy. So that was another thing that I thought might be a problem. There was concern for saving the e-board. Where does it actually go? That was something that was kind of hard to find. Uh, when you share with class, the screen is not consistent. So I guess in that regards would be if I were to share some material with the class, bear with me if you can see my mouse moving, but if I were to share with the class, what would happen would be if I told Wimba to share my entire screen with the class, what would happen is that I would think that people are looking exactly at what I'm looking at, but on the screens for the other students who are logged in, it actually jumps to certain spots. I'm not quite sure if that's a setting on the network for Stockton, but what I was finding is that it was very hard to follow along with someone. I had to enlarge the screen and try and scroll to the left or right, and even then it was kind of weird because I'd scroll up and it would bounce back down. So that was a huge. I think that's something that needs to be fixed with Wimba. Um, let's see, features in the breakout room are not the same as in the classroom, which I thought was kind of sneaky. You can't, if I remember correctly, you cannot record your breakout room, and you can't do the same things that you would do, like if you wanted to practice, if you were giving a presentation and you wanted to practice out in a breakout room. I thought that'd be kind of cool if you had the same options as you was in the classroom or in the main room, but I guess that's not the case. Uh, Grabbing the borders is very hard. This is something I had a problem with uh, the entire class. Was down at the bottom here are your options for the chat. You can see what people are writing. You can give the options of approval and all that kind of stuff. Forgive me for not knowing the exact terms. I'm having a little lapse of memory here. But all of the options down here were not accessible to me. So I had a hard time, no matter how hard I tried to extend the windows or drop this bar down here. Every time I did it, the window would adjust, and I could not get to those options, and it drove me nuts. So every time someone was, chatting or participating, where I wanted to raise my hand for discussion, I had to kind of get real close down here. Sharing options could be a little bit more easier. So if you wanted to, basically what that's saying is when you want to share something with your classmates, the options I know are over here, sharing, and then if you're not very familiar with the program, obviously you have to wait a few seconds, maybe a few more moments than you would here. Let me try again once more just to see. Uh, Basically, you would have these options, but they take a long time for it to appear. Now, unless you're familiar with it, you might be sitting there going, "What's going on? What's wrong?" It just looked like you want to make this more user friendly, and I think that the options that appear once you select share should be a little bit more user friendly. I mean, they were okay, but it's not, you shouldn't make this rocket science. Um, let's see. I think I have here offer better option for titling archived videos, which I think is huge. Once you archive a video, I think that there should be a window that pops up and says, "What would you like to title this?" And it will automatically put the date at the back. But instead, I mean, like for example, the other day we were, and I think with the smartboard, and we were, Dr. Amy was constantly up, archiving things, and that's like 5 or 6 archives in one class. And if you don't know, if you weren't there or you missed a class, I know, there was 1 or 2 of us that missed a class. If you wanted to catch up on that, but you wanted to miss the silly, chats we were having, you you don't really. I think you have to pick which one it is, and kind of you have to get lucky, and you have to listen to all of them, and then you might be wasting time when you could be looking for one specific thing. So I think if there's a window that pops up and says, "Hey, this is you can label this is your tool time presentation," and then it puts the time and date afterwards, it stamps it on there. That'd be perfect. Let's see. The share screen also is jumpy. I forgot to mention that, but basically, when you share a screen, it's very, very jumpy. I mean, I understand why, because you're sending it through the computer and through the magical world of the internet, but it is kind of jumpy. Um, and I would say would prefer a better overall layout of Wimba. I would love to show you a better layout, like just pointing to things, maybe dragging things, but I'm having trouble with connecting. So I do apologize. I wish I could pull up Wimba, but it's not happening. So I know there's a wild card, and I trust me, I would be going nuts if this was actually more, a project that I officially needed for the class. But if this helps art or anybody who's redesigning Wimba or at least doing tutorials for Wimba, maybe that'll give them a couple ideas on what they can talk about. Obviously, you're going to have to go verbally by what I say and not visually, because I'm staring at gray, light gray, and dark gray blocks. Thank you very much, and I really enjoyed this class, and I hope that Wimbo, I'll be able to use Wimbo more efficiently in the future with other classes. So, goodbye.